The Sunday dinners at Mom's place had become a ritual I dreaded. Every week I'd pack up my 2 kids, drive 40 minutes across town to her spacious townhouse in Oakmont Gardens, and endure hours of subtle humiliation disguised as family time. The comments started the moment we walked through the door. Tyler's shoes were too worn. Lily's hair wasn't brushed properly. My car was embarrassing, parked next to the neighbor's luxury vehicles. I told myself I was being sensitive, that Mom meant well, that this was just how she showed love, by pushing us to be better. But last Sunday crossed a line I didn't know existed. "Emma, take the kids to the kitchen," Mom announced as we arrived, not even looking up from arranging her fancy china on the dining room table. "They can eat at the breakfast bar." My daughter Lily, who was 7, looked up at me with confused eyes. "Why can't we eat with everyone, Mom?" "Because this is an adult dinner," my mother interjected before I could respond. "And frankly, children who eat with their hands and spill things don't belong at my antique table." "They use utensils perfectly fine," I said quietly, setting down the casserole I'd brought. "Emma, don't argue. Your sister's family is coming and Jennifer's children know how to behave properly at formal dinners. I won't have your 2 making a mess in front of them." My son Tyler, who was 9, grabbed his sister's hand. "It's okay, Mom. We like the kitchen better anyway." I watched them walk away, Tyler's shoulders slightly hunched, Lily looking back at me with that particular expression kids get when they're trying not to cry. Something cracked inside my chest. The dinner was exactly as uncomfortable as I'd anticipated. My sister Jennifer arrived with her husband and 2 teenagers, all dressed like they were attending a gallery opening. Mom fussed over them, complimenting their clothes, their manners, their everything. "Jennifer's kids are taking French lessons," Mom announced as if I'd asked. "Real cultural education. Not just sitting in front of screens all day." "My kids read constantly," I offered. "Tyler just finished a book about marine biology." "How practical," Mom said with a tight smile. "Though I suppose trade skills are important too." From the kitchen I could hear my kids talking quietly, the clink of their forks against the breakfast bar plates. They'd been given leftovers from last week's meal while we ate the prime rib roast Mom had prepared for the real dinner. After dinner, while Mom was showing Jennifer her new artwork, I stepped into the kitchen. Both kids were doing homework at the breakfast bar, having cleaned their plates without complaint. "You 2 ready to go?" I asked. "Already." Lily looked up. "But Grandma usually wants us to stay longer." "Not tonight, sweetheart." As I gathered our things, Mom cornered me in the hallway. "Leaving so soon? We haven't even had dessert." "The kids have school tomorrow." "Emma, you're so sensitive. I'm trying to teach them proper etiquette. They should thank me." I smiled at her, the same smile I'd perfected over 32 years of being her daughter. "Of course, Mom. We'll see you next week." But I wasn't coming back next week. Or any week after that. The next morning I sat in my home office and pulled up my banking records. 5 years of automatic payments, all neatly documented. I'd kept everything organized. Every receipt, every confirmation email. The mortgage payment for Mom's townhouse, $2,800 monthly. The HOA fees, $450. The utilities she insisted on keeping in my name for her credit score, another $300. Insurance, $200. Maintenance fund, $500. Property taxes, $350. The lawn service she absolutely needed, $180. The cleaning service she'd hired 6 months ago, $240. I stared at the numbers. $5,020 every single month for 5 years. Over $300,000. My cursor hovered over the spreadsheet. $300,000. That was Tyler's college fund. That was Lily's braces she'd need next year. That was the family vacation we'd never taken, the car repairs I'd been putting off, the retirement account I'd stopped contributing to when Dad died. It started when Dad died. Mom had been devastated, overwhelmed by the financial reality of maintaining their lifestyle on just her pension. I'd had a good job at a tech company, recently divorced, and she'd asked for a little help just temporarily. The temporary help had become permanent. She'd never once asked if I could afford it. Never acknowledged that I was a single mother working 60-hour weeks to cover her lifestyle and raise my own kids. She just expected it, the same way she expected me to show up every Sunday and accept whatever criticism she decided to serve alongside dinner. I opened my laptop and composed an email to the landlord. Mom didn't own the townhouse. She'd sold the family home after Dad died and rented this place, with me co-signing the lease and covering every payment since. Hi Mr. Patterson, I'm writing to inform you that I'll be terminating my portion of the lease at 847 Oakmont Drive, effective in 30 days as per our agreement. Please send all future correspondence regarding the property solely to Margaret Sullivan. Best regards, Emma. My phone rang within an hour. What is this nonsense about moving out? You don't even live here. No, Mom, I don't. But I've been paying for you to live there for 5 years. That was an arrangement we agreed to. You're my daughter. Family helps family. You're absolutely right. Which is why I'm sure you'll understand that I need to prioritize my own family now. My kids need things. Tyler wants to join the robotics club at school, but it costs money. Lily needs a new winter coat. I've been putting off things they need because I was covering your expenses. Your expenses? Emma, I'm your mother. I raised you. You owe me this. I owed you respect, Mom, which I gave you. I owed you love, which I gave you. But I don't owe you a lifestyle you can't afford while you treat my children like they're not good enough to eat at your table. There was a long silence. Then, this is about Sunday? Emma, you're being ridiculous. Mr. Patterson said the rent is due on the 1st. That's 6 days from now. I assume you have it covered. You can't do this. Where am I supposed to get $2,800 by Friday? I'm sure Jennifer can help. Her kids are taking French lessons after all. That sounds like a family with extra money. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt lighter than I had in years. The calls started immediately. First from Jennifer, angry that I was abandoning Mom in her time of need. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was 3 minutes of outrage about how selfish I was being, how Mom had always been there for us, and how I could do this over something so trivial as a seating arrangement. Then came Aunt Patricia trying to mediate. Emma, honey, I understand you're upset, but your mother is elderly. She's from a different generation. Can't you just forgive her? She's 63, not 93. And I've been forgiving her for 32 years. But where will she live? That's not my problem to solve anymore, Aunt Patricia. I have my own children to worry about. Then came calls from Mom's bridge club friends, her church group, even our old neighbor from the house I grew up in. Everyone had an opinion about what a terrible daughter I was. No one asked why I'd been paying Mom's bills for 5 years. No one asked why my kids had to eat in the kitchen. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I took Tyler to sign up for the robotics club. The registration fee was $340. I paid it without the usual guilt that came with every expense. Then I bought Lily the purple winter coat she'd been admiring for months at the mall. The one with the fuzzy hood that made her look like a small, happy bear. We went out for pizza afterward, sat at a real table, and I let them order whatever they wanted. Breadsticks, extra cheese, even dessert. Mom, are you okay? Tyler asked, studying my face with that perceptive way of his. You seem different. I'm better than okay, buddy. I'm great. Is it because we don't have to go to Grandma's house anymore? Lily asked quietly, twirling cheese around her fork. The question hit me harder than I expected. Did you not like going there? It was okay, she said carefully. But it felt like Grandma didn't want us there. Like we were in the way. Tyler nodded. Jennifer's kids got to eat the good food. We always got leftovers. I'd thought I was hiding it from them. I'd thought they were too young to notice the disparity, the casual cruelty wrapped in etiquette lessons. But children see everything. By Wednesday, Mom showed up at my door. She looked smaller somehow, her usual perfect posture slightly diminished. Her hair wasn't perfectly styled and she was wearing jeans, which I'd seen her do maybe 3 times in my entire life. Emma, we need to talk. Come in. She sat on my couch, looking around at my modest living room with barely concealed distaste. The furniture was from IKEA, not the antique stores she preferred. The TV was 5 years old. There were toys in a basket by the window, scuff marks on the walls from Tyler's skateboard. This is what you left me for? This little apartment. This little apartment is mine. Every payment I make here goes toward my kids' future, not toward maintaining someone else's image. I'm not someone else. I'm your mother. Then act like a grandmother. My kids are good children. They're kind, smart, and they deserve better than being shoved into a kitchen like servants. Mom's face tightened. I was teaching them their place. Their place is at the table with their family. But you've made it clear where you think they belong, and by extension where I belong. So I'm choosing us. I can't afford that townhouse alone, Emma. You know that. Then downsize. There are plenty of nice apartments in your price range. Apartments? I'm 63 years old. I can't live in some cramped apartment like some college student. I'm 32 with 2 kids and we manage just fine. That's different. You've always been fine with less. You never had your father's standards, his eye for quality. And there it was, the real issue that had been lurking under every Sunday dinner, every critical comment. I'd never been enough. Not refined enough, not successful enough, not worthy of the life Dad had built for her. Dad's standards required Dad's income, I said quietly. Which you don't have. And I'm done subsidizing them. She stared at me and for the first time I saw something like panic in her eyes. What do you want from me? An apology would be nice. To my kids specifically. For what? For trying to teach them proper behavior. For treating them like they weren't good enough. For making them feel small. For every Sunday you've made them eat in another room while you fawned over Jennifer's kids. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You meant every word, every slight, every dismissal. And I accepted it because I thought that was what daughters did. But I'm a mother now and I won't let anyone make my kids feel the way you've made me feel my entire life. Mom stood up, her purse clutched against her chest like armor. So this is it? You're just cutting me off. I'm setting boundaries. If you want a relationship with us, it starts with respect. Real respect. Not the conditional kind where we're only worthy if we meet your standards. And if I can't afford to stay in my home? Then you'll figure it out the same way I've had to figure out everything else while supporting 2 households on 1 income. She left without another word. That evening Jennifer called. You need to fix this. Mom is having a breakdown. Then maybe she should call and apologize to her grandchildren. Over a seating arrangement? Emma, you're destroying this family over where kids ate dinner. No, Jennifer. I'm protecting my kids from being treated the way I was treated growing up. The way I'm still being treated. You just never noticed because you were always the favorite. She hung up on me. The eviction notice came 2 weeks later. Mom had tried to pay partial rent, but Mr. Patterson required the full amount. She called me crying, begging, promising things would be different. You can stay in my spare room, I told her. Temporarily. Until you find something affordable. Your spare room? Emma, I can't. Those are the terms. You're welcome to look for other options. She moved in on a Saturday. Jennifer helped with the move, shooting me hostile looks the entire time. But I noticed she wasn't offering Mom a room in her spacious suburban home. The first morning, Mom came out to find my kids eating breakfast at our small dining table, right where they belonged. Good morning, Grandma, Lily said brightly. Want some cereal? Mom looked at the table, at my kids, at the modest kitchen that was now her reality. Yes. Thank you, Lily. She sat down. Tyler pushed the milk toward her without being asked. We're all fancy enough for this table, I said quietly, meeting Mom's eyes. Every single one of us. She looked at her bowl, at my children's expectant faces, and something shifted in her expression. Not acceptance, not yet, but maybe the beginning of understanding. Yes, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. I suppose we are. It wasn't a perfect resolution. Mom still made comments, still struggled with the reality of depending on me instead of the other way around. But every morning she sat at that table with my kids. And every morning she got a little better at seeing them for who they really were. Family helps family, she'd said. She was finally right about something. Just not in the way she'd meant.